Smooth handover of levers of the company across generations. This is true to so many family businesses in our country. From my viewpoint, I believe career succession planning as an effort to ensure leadership continuity and business continuity. This is definitely not a one-time project. Rather, it is an organizational journey to constant change, planning, identifying gaps in talent, and nurturing future leaders. It should be done with the mindset that organization supersedes individuals. I would like to conclude by quoting Mr. Deepak Parekh of SDFC. He says, unless people in organizations are mobilized and energized on a sustainable basis in support of business priorities, success can be elusive. Thank you very much for coming to today's round table, and once again, very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chaturvedi. May I please request Mr. Ajay Soni, Practice Leader, Leadership Consulting for Asia Pacific with Aon Hewitt, to join us on the stage for our keynote session. Mr. Soni is Practice Leader, Leadership Consulting for Asia Pacific with the Aon Hewitt. Ajay's experiences include developing leadership strategy for organizations, imparting executive coaching, conducting development cycles, talent and leadership assessments, etc. He is a part of Aon Hewitt's global leadership team. He has been an advisor to various corporations in Asia Pacific and has consulted over 150 organizations across the region. A mechanical engineer and an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad, Mr. Ajay has worked with ICI and Unilever in various leadership roles in the first decade of his career, and for the last 12 years he has been with Aon Hewitt, consulting for clients like Reliance Industries, Aditya Birla Group, Unilever, Procter & Gamble, HSBC Bank, Citibank, Honeywell, etc. Besides this, Ajay has widely consulted in large-scale change management, organizational restructuring, visioning, high-performance workforce, and HR effectiveness projects. Mr. Ajay Soni, over to you for the keynote session.
Thank you. Many thanks, Professor Shailaja. One of the things that she didn't share was that I cracked very poor jokes. So bear with me as I go through my next half an hour. And just a demonstration of how poor my jokes can be. I'm going to talk about career. So anybody who comes to me and says, "Mere career ka kya hoga?" So I say, "Look at your car. Uske upar jo hai, wahi hoga." So this lack of laughter shows that actually I cracked very poor jokes. I'm delighted to be here. Calcutta is the place where I brought my wife for the first time. And I have some very, very fond memories of this place. I think some of the nicest people in the world are in Calcutta. I've had some fantastic experiences, hair-raising experiences of how people can be so helpful in this city. Across the globe, I've never seen people as helpful and as nice as in this city. It is really a city of joy. So, pleasure to be here. And of course, the first exposure my wife had to Calcutta was when we got down at Howrah station. Old bridge, came to Dalhousie, and there was a jam. And there were people who were jumping on our taxi, and she said, "What happened?" So driver said, "Khela hai aaj." So, complete jam. And so that's also truth about Calcutta. Another memory that I have of Calcutta is I'd come here for a BPCL project, discussions with union. And very interestingly, Calcutta union discussions finished earlier than I had anticipated. I had time on my hand. There was a khela going on at Eden Gardens. Went there to buy tickets. Heard India was 135 for 4, Tendulkar down. I said, forget it. Let's go back. Took a flight, came to Bombay. Rahul Dravid and Lakshman never got out that day, never got out the next day, and there was a world record partnership and victory. So some very, very fond memories of Calcutta. Having said that, I want to start with this small story. 1993, a company headcount 1,500 people across the globe, $700 million revenues, net income 172 million. And 2012 headcount 66,000, revenues 46 billion, net income 8 billion. 152 acquisitions during the period. What made this firm so successful even after acquiring 152 companies? We measure the success of our firm and its acquisitions by retention of employees enabled by a streamlined career management program. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the topic that I'm going to talk about, which is careers. It's as important as being a successful business entity. And of course, Cisco is the #1 best employer in Canada in the last survey that we did. So it's no wonder if the CEO is so focused, the global CEO is so focused, the organization is a best employer in our survey that we conduct on an ongoing basis. So as I said, therefore, careers planning is integral to development of a leadership pipeline, and that's the topic that I'm going to talk about. What does our research say? A few months back, I was with Mr. Mukesh Ambani, and there is no media here, right? So I was with Mr. Mukesh Ambani, and I was, asking what is your top business challenges that are there in your mind, and he shared that the top thing that he is looking at for sustainability of his organization is to ensure there is a succession pipeline in the organization. There is a group of 20 people who brought this organization to this stage over the past 2 decades, but then there has to be a robust succession pipeline that takes the organization to the next phase of growth. I went to Pune and I met a 400 crore organization CEO, automobile component manufacturer. And I asked him as to what are the business priorities that you have. And he said, my immediate business priority is that I want to hand over, delegate the operational aspects of my business to the 3 people who are my direct reports. And I want to focus on building tomorrow's leaders. So my point is, ladies and gentlemen, CEOs, big or small, are looking at careers, are looking at succession planning as a very, very important aspect. One of the CEOs so overall, there is a research that we conduct called Top Company for Leaders, and see what that research drew is that enhancing leadership pipeline is one of the most important business goals that CEOs have today. Now, what do CEOs say are some of the aspects that contribute to that leadership pipeline development? There are 3 people who contribute to that. 1, leaders. Leaders themselves, by making strategic and critical investments, make leadership pipeline come to life. And one of the investments also is their own leadership time that they put in creating future leaders. The second is managers, and is manager providing clear direction on capabilities. And ladies and gentlemen, one of the most important, and I was talking to the panelist group a little while back, it was again emphasized, the kind of capabilities which are required for tomorrow's business are very different from what are required today. And it is changing at a very, very rapid pace. And therefore, managers need to give the clear directions on those capabilities and also provide opportunities to people to develop. There is no other way but to provide stretch opportunities for people for them to grow. And having said that, how HR needs to play the game in terms of providing enhancing leadership pipeline is by having performance and career management programs. So is HR doing that? Now, we asked this question to every CEO who participated in our research, and the satisfaction of CEO with their leaders in terms of being able to do this was 96%. 96% of CEOs thought it is being done. 96% of CEOs also felt HR is doing everything with regard to performance career management programs to be able to, and this is the top companies, this is not the rest of them, the companies which did come out on the top. So, and manager was a little lagging behind, still a very high 84% satisfaction. So that is what CEO felt. So CEO was feeling that HR is doing its job, especially of the best companies. Leaders are doing their job. Managers, to a limited extent, are also doing their job. Now that is what CEO is saying. Now, who is our very important asset? The employees, right? So let's hear what employees say. Let's see that. Now, employees told us that biggest impact factor for employee engagement. Now, what is employee engagement? Employee engagement is their intent to say good things about the company, their intent to stay in the organization, and their intent to stretch to deliver business goals. Now, in order to have high engagement, the biggest drivers in India today are career opportunities, recognition, career aspirations, and communication. I'll not go into details of these, but basically career opportunity is the biggest driver of engagement. That is what employees want. If you're trying to find where to invest your dollars or rupees in terms of HR systems processes, close your eyes, put it in career opportunities. That's what employees want. Now, if that is what they want, what are they saying? How satisfied are they with what they are getting? Now, this is what they are saying about leaders. And the green is what best employees are saying, and blue is what the rest of them are saying. With regard to leaders, our leaders include people development and decisions about advancement opportunities, 71 and 62. You saw 90s and 96 and all of that CEO was saying. People are saying much lesser satisfaction with that. With regard to manager, 53% in average organizations, and in case of best employer, 61, and 63 and 69. So the point I'm trying to drive is that the scores are much more subdued when you look at it from employee point of view. Employees are saying most important is career, but how is leaders, managers, and HR faring on it? Not that well. So one of the takeaways, I'm going to talk about a lot of things here. And if every one of you can take one thing back and use that in your organization, I would have thought my time has been worthwhile, and your time has been worthwhile. So one of the things is that career opportunity, therefore, something needs to be done, not only by all organizations, but even best employers who are doing a lot, they also need to focus on this more. This is the most important thing. Now, we also conduct a research that we call as Generation Y research. Why is Generation Y research important? Because almost 50% of organizations today in India have approximately 30% of their workforce as Generation Y. Generation Y is defined by people who are between 20 and 30. By that logic, I am generation, not even X, maybe V or U, I don't know. But again, another poor joke. So, having said that, now what did Generation Y tell us? Research tell us. Again, it told us that the career opportunities is the biggest, most important factor when they come to select an organization. And some of the data around that is this. 53% of the people look at clearly articulated career path when they are choosing an organization. So most important factor from Generation Y point of view also is career paths. What is Generation Y saying? Generation Y is saying all process and criteria related to promotions should be transparent. So with regard to career. They are also saying there should be enough opportunities in the organization to move up the hierarchy. They are also saying lateral movements should be encouraged. So cross movements, give me other experiences, that's very important. And finally, policies should not hinder the progress with unwanted requirements. 2 years at least in doing this and 40 months in that and all of that. Please don't hinder us. Let it be a free world. Let the merit come. So that's what they are saying. I also wanted to do two verbatims for you. It's such an important work for Generation Y. And one of the people that we met said, I do not want to become CEO overnight, but you tell me how to get there step by step. Then I will decide whether I want to go there, what time frame I want to go there, but you tell me that. Therefore again, career clarity, I need that. Give me the line of sight where a person can go. Give me options, this or the other. Then tell me how. By giving me stories about successful careers in the organization. So that's another person saying that. These are verbatims. Then another one says, I need a career that helps skill building, which is again in tune with business reality, because we said business reality is skills are changing. So I want to build my skills. I also want to work with different teams. I want job rotation. I want to shadow senior leaders. And I want to do stretch assignments. So those are the kind of things that we need to consider when we are considering careers for Generation Y. So far what have I said? So far what I have said is, careers is important, whether you look at CEO is saying it's important, employees are saying it's important, Generation Y is saying it's important. So that's a very, very important aspect to be considered. I would like you to just for 5 minutes introspect, and Weber, if you can distribute the forms. So there is just a small questionnaire, will not take more than 5 minutes.